Hello, welcome to Always Yarn First, the podcast that delves into knitting, crochet, spinning, and all things yarn. I'm Lindsay, and I'm coming to you from Central Arkansas. To stay updated on my latest yarn adventures, you can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Hello, everyone. Today is May 7th, Wednesday. And before we get into it, as always, just a little bit of admin. I name every episode after a song title. This is episode 88, and I always find a song that is relative to my life, my making, something like that. And this week's song is You Can Make It by Will Smith, Friday, and the Sunday Service Choir. I do have a Spotify playlist where I have all my episode songs. You can follow me below if you would like to, because before my love of yarn was my love of music. I also am a Knit Picks ambassador. I have a discount code for 15% off your purchase. That is also below this video. And I am hosting a year-long make-along called Love My Stash Mal. The only rules is your yarn has to be purchased before this calendar year, and you need to use at least 50 grams of yarn for the project. Post it on my Ravelry group in the FO thread, and I will announce the winners here. And being that it is a new month, I have an April winner, and that is, I will put in the name, but it is not Kavintha. I apologize if I mispronounce that, but please contact me at AlwaysYarnFirst@gmail.com, or you can DM me on Ravelry also. I regularly check that. So either way, if you are in the US, I will get a physical prize out to you. If you are not, I will let you pick a pattern you would like on Ravelry. So congratulations. All right, so let's get right into the podcast, shall we? I do have timestamps below if you'd like to move around freely. This week I will have finished objects, cast-ons, whips, acquisitions, goals, and I will have some life work chatter, which is really related to this week's song title, so if you want to stick around to the end. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's start with finished objects. And I'm wearing one. So this is the shoulder shell by Blame the Knots, my friend MC. This was made in Legacy Fiber Arts DK in the color Candy Apple. Now I have blocked this, but it's still rolling quite a bit here, and I feel like that is kind of affecting how it's hanging on me. So if you've been here since the beginning of this, I made these panels first, and I believe that they're supposed to sit like right on your shoulders like that. So that does like kind of help them stay up a little better. But this is rolling in quite a bit. Let me take this off for a second and show the bottom edging, which is also rolling, but it looks so pretty. I'm gonna fold this up. So the bottom edging right here, it is an I-cord bind off, but this is the first time I remember, like on the wrong side row, I had to kind of do something special before my I-cord bound off. And I think it really gives it a nice look to it. So red is not usually my color, but this was in my stash from long ago. And I had signed up to test knit this for MC. I obviously failed on the test knit, but I have finished it, and I used up stash for this, which is double bonus points there. So yeah, love this. I love a little cover up, especially like I said, when I have a lot of shirts with spaghetti straps or dresses. So I love something I can just kind of throw on just to give me a little bit of warmth. And I think that's all I have about this. So glad it's done. It's one of those projects where I just picked it up one day, and then I came to the realization how close I was to finishing it, and it was a little bit ridiculous, and I just did it. So do you ever have projects like that where you put it aside, you're not feeling it, and then when the next time you pick it up, you're like, I'm so close to finishing it. Why didn't I just do it? So who knows? But it's done now. So I do have another finished object. I finished my April. Here is the second sock. So you can see I have two. But here's on my fancy foot. I finished my April make-along for Night Owl Fibers sock make-along. And this again was a test knit. This is the Squiggle Wiggle Socks by Shannon Hobbs. So close up of that. This is using the heel in the pattern. It is an afterthought. It's Bigfoot heel, which I very much enjoyed, and it fits very well. So I love this sock. It is very nice. I will admit, though, I am excited to be back to vanilla socks for my Night Owls make-along because, not that this was hard, but my brain just processes vanilla sock where I can take it everywhere. And especially when I'm doing a test knit, I want it to be very accurate. So I finished the second sock the last day of April, which is cutting it a little bit too close than I like. So I am happy to have tested this for Shannon. Do like the sock, especially for a self-striping yarn. But I am very happy also to be back to vanilla socks. So if you are interested, if you also don't do a lot of pattern socks, but you're interested in that Bigfoot heel, Shannon does have a pattern called Bigfoot's Vanilla Sock. So I will put that below. And so you can get just her vanilla sock recipe that includes that afterthought heel. And she has a built-in extra where if you have a wider instep that you need a little more room, you can add that to it, which I think is really great. I did not do that because I did not need that. But I know a lot of people have said that they can't do afterthought socks because of that fact of their higher instep. So definitely check that pattern out. Okay, moving right along. That is my 2 finished objects, but I also have 2 new cast-ons. So let's go right into keep on the sock train here. And last night I finished my first one for May. See what I'm saying about vanilla socks? I mean, I'm pretty excited that the 6th of the month I have 1 sock done. I will say that the color very much motivated me also because this color is fantastic. This is a new one. You'd see me purchase this. I just got it a few weeks ago. This is Night Owl Fibers Delicate Rainbow. It is stunning. And I did a toe up with an afterthought heel because I wanted to cut right in the middle of those blues there. And usually for the make along, I have to just have 3 inches of height. And I usually do the minimum because I am not a tall sock girl. But this color set is so stunning. I decided to go through the full round. So you'll see I started at the light green. And I started there at the light green again. So I finished at the yellow. So I'm ready for the light green starting on my next sock. And again, I usually don't care that the stripes match. But I love this. I just used some white yarn. I think that it's Lori's yarn, Arkansas Yarn Co. But I'm not positive. I just have like a white, a gray, and a navy that sit on my desk, and those literally are to go with like socks when I want to do a heel toe cuff, different color. So I just finished this. I haven't even cast on the second one. I finished this, weaved in the ends, and went to bed last night. So very, very excited about that. And the other thing that you've just seen from me, again, I started my second Tolsta tank. So I have that in my Love Your LYS bag, Deliq bag. And I think I talked about what my plan was for this, so I'll just kind of mention it here again. Being that my last Tolsta tank fit perfect, I was very excited. I knew exactly how much yarn I needed, and all of that. And I had previously done a test knit with Mace of Skeins yarn, and I used this colorway. Hopefully it's not blowing out too much on the screen. You can see I've hand caked this. This is DK Weight, and actually we're just getting ready to celebrate 6 years of Brick and Mortar Arkansas Yarn Co. Last year, Macy was at the party and she dyed these 2 yarns for the party. This one is called Pink Birthday Cake. This one is called Frosting with Sprinkles. This is my favorite one. I bought 3 skeins of this in DK, and at the time I had signed up for a test knit. I had done that test knit. It was a sweater vest, and I'm trying to delicately put it, but I did not enjoy it. It was a very easy pattern. It looked okay, but the test knit gave a lot of extra material, fabric right here. And it isn't just my size. It wasn't my tension, anything like that. I looked at all the test knitter pictures and everyone had that mess of fabric right there. I don't think it was tech edited, honestly. So I was very disappointed. In fact, I gave feedback about it, and then the designer didn't even, I got it done in time. The designer didn't even give me the pattern free, which I don't care. But it was a very bad test knit. So I was really the most upset that I had used this yarn, which I had loved, for that pattern. So knowing that I had gotten 3 skeins of DK, and I'm like, oh, but I used just like barely into 3 skeins with the Tolsta, I could rip this out, make something that I already know fits me well, that I know I love, and I will finally redeem this yarn. So as you can see by all the ramen noodle yarn that I frogged that. I actually have a little bit right here still left. It was kind of a pain to frog. I still have little bits that are left. But because there were some places I had to cut and I was nervous that I'd be a little bit short, and this was a special colorway. We have no more at the store. There's no more of this. What I decided to do, we still had DK of this, and I think I had told you last time that this was an acquisition. I bought 1 skein of this. So here's where I'm at. I have cast on, and you can see it looks so well together. So I am using the pink yarn for all the ribbing. So basically this, and then the ribbing at the top, and then when I pick up around the armholes and make the strap, I'll use it for the ribbing and that too. And I'm very, very, very pleased with it. Because it's the same colors, it goes so well together. And I'm very happy. So it is a little squiggly wiggly. I need to give it kind of like a steam as I'm going, but I'm using the same exact needle sizes. The only modification I think I'm going to do with this tank this time is when I pick up around the arms, the pattern has you knit 6 rows. And so that basically is how thick your strap will be. I think I'm going to do maybe 7 or 8. Now, the straps right now with the bra I usually wear with it covers it just fine, but like just fine. So I think I'm going to add 2 more rows just because, and since I'm only using this for ribbing, I have plenty, just for a little extra, just because. So I'm very excited. Hopefully everything will go smoothly with this since I've already made it. I'm not trying to race like last time, but I have got quite a bit done. So that is the Tolsta tank. The square neck version is what I'm making and what I made last time. All right, that is all of my cast-ons. Let's see, I only have 1 whip that I've been working on. So let's talk about the last whip. And that is my Dorid scarf. This is in my Delightful Works little bag. And I don't know if I moved up the marker or not. I think I did, but here is the marker. So I've gotten a few more triangles done. So yeah, this is my Dorid. This is Artistic Yarn by Abby in the Watercolor Striped Sock Yarn 7525, 460 yards. So here's what I have left. And I believe I did 11 triangles. No, I might have done 12 because I think it calls for 11, like a total of 22. 11 on one side and 11 on the other side. So here is the rest of it where I started. And it's just meant as a decorative piece. Has a nice flat side where it sits on your neck. There you go. So I am nearing on this. This has kind of just remained like right here on my desk. So in the morning, I usually sit here, have my coffee, which I still have coffee here. And I usually watch knitting podcasts in the morning. So this has kind of been my go-to in the morning. I've been taking my either socks or tank to work if there's any time for knitting there. And then the other one is usually my couch knitting at night if I'm watching something on TV. That is all my making. I have done no spinning, but I'm really happy with my making. I'm loving all my projects. They're super bright. They're super colorful. So that's awesome. What do we have next? So I do have a little bit of acquisitions. All right, so let's start with what was gifted to me. Lori, my boss, Arkansas Yarn Co., just came back this last weekend from the North Texas Yarn Crawl. She does a trunk show at Juju Knits, and she brought back some goodies for all of us at work. She got us each the Delicue North Texas Yarn Crawl bag, and then some goodies inside. I thought this was really cool. Let's see. I've never seen one of these before. We thought it was like a whistle or something, but this is a needle gauge. So that's kind of cool with a little stitch marker there. And then also came with a little flocks. Have you ever seen one of these? On the back here, it says you can use it as a cable needle, a stitch holder, a stitch marker, because it folds all up. So very cool. And a sticker. And then a little skinny can cozy from Juju Knits. And then she brought me gummy bears from Buc-ee's because she knows I love them. She always stops at Buc-ee's on the way there. So, yes, that is from Lori. You definitely see a theme with the Delicue bags. We have started carrying them. I'm sure I've mentioned them because we've carried them for a few months. And we've had to reorder them and restock them many times because everyone loves the bags. So, you know, this is obviously a snap bag. This is a snap bag. And then I purchased from Jimmy Beans because we can't get this one for wholesale orders. We do have this type of bag. This is a Delicue, and it's called the Maker's Bag Mesh Tote. So this is a wide one. I actually have a tall one. I don't know if I've ever showed it, but I had gotten a tall one, which is navy, and I've been using it as kind of like my purse go-to bag. But this one is pink. This one was made in conjunction with Tony Lipsy TL Yarn Crafts. This bag is really nice. I love the pink, and that's why I got it. So it actually says TL Yarn Crafts inside. And let's show you the pockets. So again, we have these bags at the shop, but I think right now we have a purple one and a mustard colored one. So there's a big zip pocket there. And then it comes with a little bag inside, which is mesh on one side, and you can't see through it on the other side. And then it does come with straps, a tiny little notebook, and a darning needle. And it comes with this scissor pouch with scissors in it. And that is also, all these little extra things are in the tall bags also. So yeah, this is, I just could not resist the pink. And with the whole tariffs thing starting, I had gotten an email from Della Q saying our prices are about to go up. And I had been eyeing this bag and eyeing it and eyeing it. And when I got that message, I went and I ordered the bag, and I'm glad I did because the bags have now all gone up. All of the prices have gone up, and I got in at the original price for that. So I'm very happy that I got that bag when I did, because I kept thinking about it. You know, one of those things where you're like, I know I'm eventually going to buy it. I just don't want to spend the money right now. And then when I got the email saying, hey, our prices are going up, I'm like, okay, now's the time. So I went ahead and got it. And then I ordered one other thing. I am not a toy maker. I don't enjoy making toys. But I have this friend who loves unicorns. And this may sit here for a year before I touch it because I hate making toys. But I got this. I was basically trying to do the fill your cart to get free shipping, and I saw this Unicorn Nora kit made in Portugal. It is a crochet kit, which I feel like for some reason, if I'm going to knit or crochet one, I feel like I'm more likely to crochet a toy than to knit a toy. I don't know why. So yeah, we'll see. I'm going to put it back on this thing by my guy standing back there, and you may just see it. So once it's down from there, you'll be like, oh, maybe you worked on it. So haven't opened this, but yeah, got this whole kit. It comes with the cotton yarn and crochet hook pattern, so like everything you need except maybe the stuffing. So yeah. All right, that is all of my acquisitions. No yarn, so yay on that. Although some yarn is about to come in, and I will talk more about that when we get into life work stuff. But let's talk goals real quick. All right, so goals for the month of April. I had 6 skeins of yarn in. My grand total so far is 35. And for the first month of the year, I think I had 9 skeins of yarn out because I've finished some stuff. So that is super exciting. But my total is 24. Of all my finished objects, this last month, I had 610 grams stitched out. So those were all on finished objects. My goals for April were, of course, my Night Owl socks, which you saw, my Tolsta, which you saw, and the other thing was I wanted to finish my Sweet Mountain spin where I was plying it with my Advent. I have not finished that because I have not, I think the last 2 podcasts I said I have not done any spinning, so that's all right. Okay, so May goals is, of course, my Night Owl socks. I'd like to finish my second Tolsta, and I want to finish my Dorid, this one here. Maybe start something new. So that's it for goals. So if you have stuck around this far and we're done with all the making talk, I'm just going to very briefly talk about some life things and some work things. So thank you for coming if this is up where you are leaving, but stick around and let's get into it. So first of all, some work things. Like I said, we have our Arkansas Yarn Co. birthday bash is coming up May 31st. That is the celebration of Lori being 6 years at her brick and mortar. Lori always throws a big party. We have the swag bag has already sold out, and we are expecting quite a bit of people. So I hope that if you are local, semi-local, that you will come because it will be guaranteed to be a good time. Also for work, the extra exciting thing is we have been talking about classes. That's not new. If you know that I schedule the classes, I'm trying to think of what Lori entitled me, Director of Education. So I work on all the classes and get those set up, but we've been talking the last 2 days about adding a couple new classes that customers have been asking for. So one, and this will be probably after the summer, but all about yarn. A lot of people come in the store that, especially maybe learn to crochet first. This is my story, basically. Learned to crochet, went to a craft store, whether it's Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or Joann's, RIP, and was introduced to yarn that way, which is acrylic yarn, fairly cheap yarn. And then later on, go into a yarn store and you're like, first of all, why are things so expensive? Why are things not numbered? Like, you go into a craft store and things are like, oh, it's weight number 4. Well, there's not that in a yarn store. Well, what is the difference? Why is this yarn different? Why is it more expensive? What is the material? What matters how I make things? So just kind of like a little education in yarn, going from that craft store mentality to a yarn store. What's the difference? What are the different properties of a craft store yarn, a yarn store yarn? Why would you want to use them in certain things? So that is definitely on the agenda for, like I said, after summer. And the reason for that is because the other one that we have been talking about for a long time, but we just needed to schedule how we were going to do it, is a beginner sweater workshop. So a lot of people, have delved into knitting and they make certain things, but they're like, I really want to make a sweater. And they come in and they look at our samples and say, I can't do that though. Well, we're like, yeah, you can. You just, need a little help. So that's not a class that we can teach in one session, obviously, how to make a sweater. So we have been concocting a way where we can make it a workshop. It is going to be a set of classes where you purchase each class separately. And we are working on having that in person on certain days with like time in between so you can work on homework. Like we introduce you to, for instance, a top down where we start on the neck ribbing, and then you go home and you finish that ribbing that we taught you. Then when you come in the next class, you're ready for the next step, which is doing increases on your sweater. And then you'll go home and you'll finish those increases to a certain point. Then you'll be ready to split for sleeves, things like that, where we teach you what you're doing and then you go home and you finish that before the next class. So we believe this will be 5 sessions and it will be starting the beginning of June. So if you are interested in that, please make sure you go on to Arkansas Yarn Co., sign up for our newsletter, and there will be something about that in this week's newsletter, which I usually send out on Saturdays. So more info to come on that, but we want you to be aware. And we do plan on filming sessions separately. Jessa and I are basically working together to make this workshop happen. I think she's going to be teaching the in-person classes, and I will be videoing the classes, because 5 sessions is a lot to take in. So if you missed a class and then you're like, well, now I'm stuck here and everybody's moved on, because things happen, even if you think you can make them all, we want to have it available on video. And yes, that means we will have it for sale on video too, but we're still working that out. So again, stay tuned for that if that is something that interests you on making your first sweater. So super, super exciting. All right, that's the work stuff. The life stuff. Oh, so that was what I was talking about earlier, by the way, that I'll be getting some yarn in, because since I will be making videos for that, I have to bring home a sweater quantity worth of yarn and start on mine so I can make the videos before we need them for classes. So I think I already picked out my yarn. It's sitting at work. I'm just double checking. And so that yarn will be coming in to my stash. Also, so life stuff. Super exciting things are happening there too. I have created my own home business. I will still be working at Arkansas Yarn Co., but I'm expanding, moving out, expenses, things like that. I had decided I didn't want a second job from the yarn shop, but I wanted to work from home when I needed to make some more. So I kind of went different routes and was researching different things, and I had found a course about how to become a virtual assistant. The great thing about that for me is I already have the skills for a virtual assistant. I have been an assistant. I have been an office worker. I now know how to edit podcasts, do newsletters, all these different things. So I already have the work skills to do this job. I just needed the skills to turn it into a business. So I have registered my business. I have a business now called The Curated Office. I have started an Instagram. It is very, very much started, baby. But if you'd like to follow me on there, or if you or someone you know would like to learn more about what I offer, definitely give me a follow. I'd appreciate it so much. My Instagram, I will link below, but it's The Curated Office VA Services, Virtual Assistant Services. So I will link that below. But I'm very, very excited because it's a job that I can still work at Arkansas Yarn Co. When needed, still do the tasks I regularly do. It basically can work hand in hand with what I'm already doing. Lori and all the girls already know about this job that I'm working towards, so I'm very excited. It's been a little bit stressful, like I said, learning business things, because I am definitely not used to that side of it. But I know that once I get past this, the job side of it will be awesome, because I feel very skilled in the services I'm going to offer. It's just running the business and getting my clients is the stressful part. So I'm really excited about it though. So that's kind of like my song title this week, that you can make it. So I just got to remind myself that this is the hard part. It is going to get better. And then I can work from home and work at the yarn shop and not going on another secular job. And the skills all work together. So I'm really excited. So that is all for the podcast today. I'm so excited to get that news out there. Like, sometimes when you're holding on to something, you're just like, oh, I'm afraid to say it out loud. But, since I had talked to Lori about it and she was really excited for me, it's been very encouraging, because I love talking to the girls about it. They're such a huge part of my life that it's nice to talk it out with them. So Anyway, that is it for this week, y'all. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much if you stayed all the way to the end. I appreciate you so much. And I will see you in another 2 weeks. Bye.